Okay, Storytelling Ron here. And I'm recording on my iPhone because I'm doing something. Oh, this is for GMing Star Wars. I'm recording my iPhone. This is for GM Star Wars, just to give you some advice. No, pop quiz. Sorry, I'm trying to look at pop quiz. Oh, pop quiz. This is a pop quiz on you. Plus me. Pop quiz. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is, you'll figure out what I'm doing here in a sec. All right. Here we go. I'll explain everything in a minute. Astrogation. What did they roll? They rolled. Ooh. I'm rolling. Ooh. Oh my God, this is hard. Three advantages. Astrogation. That's it. No success failure. 3 advantages. Oh man, what is that? Oh my, come on. You gotta be thinking. Come on. Astrogation, 3 advantages. What happens? See? So that's what I'm finding is like the most important thing in GMing Star Wars, right? Is you gotta know those advantages, threats, successes, failures, triumphs, and despairs for every skill. I mean, at least familiarize yourself with it, and it's gotta be snappy, right? And me too, because I'm finding too when they roll and they figure out whatever it is, I'll sort of get stuck, and they're all like, and I'm like, so obviously they could obviously come up with their own ideas, but for the sake of this, I'm just going to say the GM, especially if it's like new players, or beginner players and a beginning GM. So there it is. So I'm going to go through. Here we go. Pop quiz. So what did I say? 3 advantages. What is it? Astrogation. Obviously, they didn't make the plotting points to do the hyperspace, right? So 3 advantages is what they maybe they'll get a bonus. They'll get 1 bonus boost die for the next try, 3 and then 1 more advantage. 2 for the bonus, I think, or whatever. 1 more. So I would give them. See, I'm already like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. So most are commonly used to reduce the travel time. So 1 reduces the travel time. That's what all it says here. So I would say, well, 3 means that it's reduced travel time. I wouldn't say 3 times, but at least more dramatically, and costs. I can see what I got a new point. It's really great. Yeah, well, you haven't done it yet, and the TIE fighters are so it would give them. So I would say you can choose 1 boost die for your next astrogation roll, and then to try it again, and then 1 or 2 for reducing the time and costs to get there. Now, but the ship's under whatever is going on. You got another round of attacks and the piloting and the gunner, So there's that situation. I mean, could be a tractor beam happening at that moment. Another chance. So then that's what you got to do. Now, obviously for astrogation, there's if they get a disadvantage or a threat, then obviously the time gets. And I'm thinking for astrogation too, like I don't know the exact numbers yet. My players haven't done space travel yet. They're still on Tatooine doing a bunch of adventures there. They do got land speeders though, but so I'm gonna if they did roll it a threat, then obviously the time would and cost of the fuel. And I'm thinking like each one area would be like 500 credits, and then if they so if they fail like that, it'd be like 650 now. And I wouldn't like play it out like they have to go get fuel all the time, but I would say every time they want to get to a spaceport, they gotta remember to minus off that. Like, so you're right now at negative 650 for when the next time you go to a spaceport because you have refuel. Do something like that. And I think like each big area, like from Arcana sector to another, like the huts, that would be, well, they're pretty close. That'd be like 500 credits maybe, or maybe 750. And then to go to the next one would be 1,000 credits. And then of course there's the plus and minus based on their astrogation advantage and threats things. Now there's the despair, right, for astrogation. So they're going to pop up. They'll either pop up in some bad area like asteroid field. The other thing for the disadvantage is they could just pop up far away from their actual destination, so they have another jump, another fuel cost that way. But it'd be maybe a minor one, but same effect, I guess. The despair would be, man, they come out in a bad area or something bad. Maybe they come out depending on the storyline, right? There could be pirates in the area, asteroid field, space nebula, so they're a bit blind for a bit. Whatever you can think for that. So there's that. You got to all kinds of things you got to come up with when they roll like that. Obviously, the The successes are, well, I mentioned that, getting there better, getting more info, all that. So there you go, astrogation. All right, that's pop quiz. Here we go, next one. Okay, so by the way, just so you know, I'm using, here's what the dice that I'm using. And this is sort of an average for, let's say, Tatooine, some Outer Rims kind of encounters with challenges and stuff. So if you can see, I would say the characters will probably have 3 ranks with 1 proficiency and whatever, I'm just generalizing, with 1 boost die. That boost die could be their equipment or help from another character, whatever. And then obviously the opposing dice are 2 ranks, and I'm adding a proficiency either because, like, let's say it's a merchant, right? And they have they got a career rank in merchant and cool or vigilant, doing what they're doing, or I put in the dark force point, and then just like there's other characters there, other thugs along with them, or the door is reinforced or whatever, it's really dark or whatever. So that's that's what I'm rolling. So generally they'll have a good chance of succeeding, but there's always gonna be. So here we go. Athletics. Here we go. Oh yeah. Okay. So we're athletics. Let's say the character is trying to jump over a wall during a fight, during a combat. They want to get over the wall and get some cover. So what do we have here for athletics? And we got to go quick. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. 2 fails, and 3 advantages. 2 fails, 3 advantages. Athletics. Trying to jump over the wall. Yep, they're all like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? So, remember, the players are talking as you're trying to come up with something, and I'm even trying to come up with something. 2 fails, 3 advantages. What the heck? What'd you come up with? Just in your... I'm thinking like, didn't make it over that wall, standing in front of the wall. You realize you're in a bad position. You get to 3 advantages. Whew. 2 fails. Man. See? In the middle of a game, that's terrible. I can't even think of anything. Oh my gosh. Man, you take a couple of wounds, you hurt yourself, but where you are down, you're dropped, you're prone, you still have cover, but if you try to move, you'll be totally exposed and they'll get a good shot on you. You know what I mean? That's how tricky this is. And you do got to make it exciting, right? What else? Just for this, anyway, that's just, I probably failed that one. That like slowed the game down. That, okay, I'm down, and you know what I mean? You got to make it quicker. Or I got to make it quicker. So let's just move on. That was definitely not fail for me. All right, here we go. Okay, charm, merchant. Like a merchant. You're trying to charm the merchant or the guy at the gate to get through without having to pay so much. And here we go. Same kind of rolls. Okay, here we go. Whoa. See? Whoa. Okay, wow. Oh, wow. Here we go, charm. Here we go. Are you ready? 5 successes. Yeah! 1 advantage, 2 threats, and 1 despair. What the heck? They're all like, what the heck? What do you see? Now as a GM, what are you doing? 5 is okay, totally charmed everybody there. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're all like, oh, we really like you. 1 advantage. Man, gee, whoa, I don't know. 2 threats. Oh, no, they can't actually. So 1 threat. Sorry. Yeah, 1 threat. All right. 5 advantages, 1 threat, 1 despair. 5 advantages. Succeeded completely. The whole crew, the merchant and his salespeople, or the pirates, and the gatekeepers, and all the other pirates are all like laughing with you and having a good time. I'm going to say for the despair, the despair, I'm going to say the boss guy is watching from a distance and knows that this is a bunch of crap, and he doesn't, I'm going to say something like that. But how does that play into it right now? I don't know. That's the tricky thing. Someone, though, doesn't like that they got through and is watching them, or is going to send someone to follow them. But the main thing about that for charm is like, how do I play that out right there? How do they know that that's happening when the guy, the boss is far away? So I don't think I guess I don't want to do it that way. And 1 threat. See, again, you got to know this stuff. You got to be what is it that they? Okay, so either the merchant, they're trying to deal with a merchant, or they're trying to persuade to get through the gate without having to pay the fees. I do that a lot, or in mine, I plan on doing a lot of gate fees or entrance fees. Whether you're docking, or you're entering a town, whatever it is, there's always going to be some guards, and they're always going to want money off of you. So obviously they succeeded at charming them. They get the rates down. One threat. So one of them says he wants a little. See, exactly. I don't know what the heck. Oh man, one threat. Okay, so it says here one less. Yeah, but you got 5 successes and one less. Reduce the number of people. This could turn one of them against them. So I'm going to say one of them, if there's even see, and that's the thing. 5 successes means at least 5 people are persuaded. What if there's only 3 guys there? I'm going to say someone behind him maybe comes up. How, what are you doing? How does it come they get to get in free? Who are they? Something like that, I guess. And it looks like a dangerous person. See, that's the tough part. Now, obviously, I still love the game and it's still fun. But again, you as a GM have to be familiar with this kind of all these kind of different variances in the successes and failures. Okay, we're going on to the next one. Coercion. Okay, here we go. Coercion. So obviously you're trying to, belittle or take advantage of someone, whatever situation. Let's just roll and see what happens here. Okay. Woo. All right, here we go. You ready? 2 failures, 5 advantages. 2 failures, 5 advantages. What the heck? 2 failures, 5 advantages in coercion. All right, obviously you failed. Now, giving you a moment. 2 failures, 5 advantages. Okay, so obviously you didn't change the thugs or maybe the guy at the bar, the cantina. 2 failures. Boom, man, the guy reacts. Another guy comes along and joins him. How dare you? So this is going to turn into a fight. 5 advantages. Wow. You could either gain some stress back or someone comes to your aid. That's out. Yeah, I would just, maybe you can get 1 stress back and someone comes to your aid, like some bystander. So it looks like a fight's about to happen. That's all I can think of, man. Because, see? You gotta what's going to happen here, All right, let's go on to the next one. Okay, computers, slicing. Here we go. Computers, obviously, is slicing, trying to get in and take over something. Okay, well, what we got here? Okay. Exactly, I'm here. All right. Oh, no. One triumph. That's it. All this one triumph. It's computers. Okay, they accomplished the task, and no one knows. So that one's a nice straightforward one. That's whew. Yeah, the characters, and you can add that not only did they succeed, but no one knows, which is obviously perfect. So that's it. The triumph for succeeding is obviously helping them to cover their tracks. All right, let's go on to the next one. Here we go. So you got to be familiar. You gotta know this stuff. All right, cool. What is cool? Cool is obviously, especially again in for initiative. Cool. But obviously for initiative, I believe you just use whatever you win. You don't count all the different extra things. It's just based on an order. So there's that. But also cool is used. If you're waiting for an engagement to begin, which I thought was the initiative thing. Well, if you're waiting for an ambush to happen, you roll your cool. This is obviously I would say separate from the initiative. So that could give you extra things. So let's say you're setting up an ambush and you're waiting for the person to come out or whoever to come out. you got everything all ready. Another thing is, okay. So I'm sorry. So that is part of the initiative, and then but it's all the other things, threats and then disadvantages that then will come into play. Also, another thing is, yeah, if you're doing an argument or you're part of a in social discussions as well, and maybe you have to, or maybe stormtroopers are coming by and you have to act nonchalant. How about that? Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. I should have. I mean, I read it beforehand, but as I'm talking, I had to reread it just to think about cool. So here we go. Exactly. Here we go. 2 advantages. No successes or failures. 2 advantages. That's it. Cool. So what does that mean? So obviously it means you could gain some stress points back if you want. You didn't win whatever it was. Whatever's happening is happening. But you could say that you could either get some stress points back or you notice something. But as far as things happening, that's it. You don't get any bonuses or anything else. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'm getting exhausted, man. This is and I'm not getting exhausted. I'm getting exhausted. Like, yeah. I mean, well, think about this. This matters. I've only done a few skills here, and I'm already getting tired of trying to figure these all out. So that means I don't know enough. I'm not familiar enough with this skill checks, advantages and disadvantages. As I'm a new GM at this anyway. But I'm glad I'm doing this, and I'm hoping that this makes you realize something. You got to be familiar with all this stuff, and it's got to be right there in the RAM of your brain. So let's go on to the next one. All right, coordination. Okay, I just read through it. So obviously, character may to avoid damage, like if he's falling or hanging or whatever, use coordination. Walk across beams and walls or whatever. Escape restraints, okay, and then crawling through tunnels and doing that kind of thing. So coordination is pretty, yeah. So what's the roll? Let's say it's well, and then obviously it could be a non-combat situation or it could be a combat situation. So let's just do both. Let's just say this roll is for either, sort of break it down for both. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right, 3 successes, 1 despair. 3 successes, 1 despair. Coordination. What's going on? Okay, well, they succeed at getting through this tunnel over the wall. Take a couple of wounds. They hurt themselves, cut themselves. Yeah. Or they lost some piece of equipment, got stuck, and fell off. Though they got through. So there you go, man. Either one, either in and since it's 3 successes, even in combat that would really matter, because then they could have another maneuver, maybe to go back and get the equipment. I would still roll probably another coordination just to get it, but then they can't do anything else, right, at that point. But or they take the wounds, But that's kind of man. See, so you gotta know that stuff. All right, here we go. Next one. Okay, deception. Here we go. Deception. Now it's interesting. You can obviously mislead someone, buy or sell or whatever. That's a known one. That one the characters use a lot. You can distract someone. Okay. That one's probably not used as much, but definitely we should remind them they can do that. And the last one here that they suggest, which I didn't know, is they can use it to lay a false trail, like a decoy or getting someone that's chasing them to go the wrong way somehow. I guess that's in a physical sense, I would say, and somehow. So that's interesting. So let's do the roll here. Let's say let's just do the basics where they're trying to sell something or get through the gates, or whatever. Instead of using charm, they're going to use deception. Okay, what we got here? 1 success, 2 advantages. 1 success, 2 advantages. So that's a nice roll. Everyone's high-fiving, So obviously they get through. The character, the NPCs believe them. 1 success, so one success, and they get through. The NPCs believe them. I think that's it. Done. They like them. You know, kind of mild. I wouldn't do it like total like loyalty like them, but just all right, cool. You guys can go through. We'll let you through this time, but next time, just make sure you pay. Okay, that kind of thing. All right, on to the next one. Oh, and then what are some bad things though for deception? Obviously, if they fail, now if they do a triumph, that's obviously like you get a friend. If they fail, the NPCs think they're lying, and for despair, they're like, okay, you not only are you lying, but some action is taken against them. So, whew, okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, discipline. Okay, I don't use this one a lot as far as like against fear. I keep forgetting that there's fear in the game. Like, so when I have a creature or something, I should have them roll fear or discipline. But I would warn you not to have all of them roll fear. Have like the closest one roll fear, and the others are witnessing them. But I wouldn't do it where dog barking. So I wouldn't have them all roll discipline. I just have one of them roll, and the others witnessing it, kind of thing. Just because if you have them all roll, it's like tedious, and they're all looking at their dice, and I would just have one roll, and everyone's all, and then can I give them a boost? Okay, sure, because you're, come on, whatever. So the discipline would be against, when a horrible creature, or you could say the horrible atmosphere of the area. Would you have them all roll for that? I just would have one. I would try to have one roll and, get nervous, like maybe the one with the weakest discipline. Anyway, so business contact, okay, might offer a great deal that seems too good to be true. Have them roll discipline to see that they're not giving away anything. So anytime that they're being confronted, obviously you can use cool, but I think if it's cool is more of a passing kind of thing, whereas discipline is more of a you're being directly, questioned type of thing. And thusly, if stormtroopers are questioning you, you can have it so that you roll a discipline against their coercion, and then obviously the character is going to roll, and then you can see the results. So let's do that one. Let's say mentally sorting through from, okay, and obviously if someone's lying to you, you can use discipline against their deception to try to figure that out. So obviously you want the players to roll most of the time during those type of situations. So if I'm using a thug who's lying to the character, I'm going to let them roll the whole thing, and I don't roll anything. Now, if they roll a bunch of successes, they can. One thing I noticed is that if they do get a bunch of successes, they obviously roll the discipline, and then they can also, if the opposing person has any of these, they can reduce this for discipline, deception, cunning, or social kinds of roles. On that specific person, they know that person, they know to read them, so they can reduce these if they did a really good discipline in the beginning. So let's just roll this. Let's just say some stormtroopers are coming up, and and they got to roll against this is a sergeant. I would say that this is like a sergeant asking them questions, but there's a couple extra stormtroopers with them. So okay, what do we got? So he's got to keep his cool, right? Or cool discipline, not to give anything away. Whoa, this is challenging here. Well, okay. Triumph, 2 advantages. All right, so obviously that's a total win. Triumph and 2 advantages. Totally disciplined. And you may add a bonus die to any of your rolls probably against these stormtroopers again. And the stormtroopers are, all right, move along. You're fine. So that's your discipline. Okay. This is exhausting, and I'm not even playing. I'm just. Okay, leadership. I haven't really used this one much. It seems like leadership is more of like the Age of Rebellion type of skill needed, especially if you have like minions, or if you're able to recruit minions in the town or whatever to help fight against the thugs or the Tusken Raiders or even stormtroopers. So, and obviously I can see leadership coming to play that way quite a bit. And if one of the other characters does succumb to fear, I guess I could use another character. If they use their leadership, they could try to help reduce that fear. That would be an action as well, if it was in a combat situation. So let's roll that. Let's just say this character is trying to persuade some people in a cantina to go up against either a couple of bullies, like pirates or Hut followers. Let's just say that kind of situation, or stormtroopers, whatever. Okay, that one's kind of, that's fine. No successes, 3 threats. 3 threats. It's leadership, 3 threats. Obviously, the character has failed. 3 threats. In a cantina situation, not only do the stormtroopers or thugs still keep whatever threatening the characters, but a couple of thugs join in with them. And tell them, you a bunch of rabble rousers or trouble causers. So, now not that there's any fighting yet or anything, but I would say 1 or 2 extra thugs join in with the stormtroopers. Now the characters need to, okay, we back off. We need to leave. We need to, surrender. Hopefully not surrender. I hate those kind of situations, but there it is. That's leadership. You got to get familiar with that. And obviously it's the opposite. If you did some advantages, you could get people to join your side. If you get a critical or a triumph, obviously they're all yelling and screaming, and the stormtroopers or whatever probably leave. So there's that. Okay, that's leadership. Here we go. Next one. Okay, let's do mechanics. Yeah, I'm getting tired, man. This is exhausting. And anyway. And this is a very controlled environment, too. Imagine being in a game and you're having to do all this. You have to come up with this stuff. Now, obviously, it's more fun than... Okay, mechanics. You think mechanics are straightforward, but now that I'm reading it, I'm like, there's some extra things here. So, obviously, it's about fixing damaged, machines or robots or whatever. You can also use it to... Oh, okay. So at the beginning of a job, you can roll it to determine what you need for the job, what tools, what parts. That's interesting. Okay, you got to remind characters about that, or tell, hey, you roll this now. And another thing interesting here. All right. Well, obviously making things, and now the one I used it for a lot was they were at the vapor farm, the Vaporators, and they were dismantling the Vaporators to get the parts. And so I used, like whenever they rolled a success, that was a new part, or an advantage, or the advantage they could use for additional rolls. So I kind of used that. So if they got 2 advantages and two successes, they could have 4 parts they bought, or 2 parts, and then get a bonus die for the next roll to do it again, because they get like 2 mechanical rolls per Vaporator to try to extract parts off of it. So I did kind of that kind of thing with mechanics, and that was kind of fun because that was money for them, and they needed the town needed the parts. And okay, so another interesting thing here is that you can, with each success, you can reduce the cost. With each of the advantages, you can actually get temporary boosts to the device. So that's kind of like one of these, just for that game session though, not. So for that game session, they get one of these for that, whatever that device is, or robot, or whatever it is they fixed. It works a little better for a little while. And if they get a triumph, you can get a cool new, it says here like extra like power in the weapon for one shot, one use kind of thing, but something really cool and extra. So that's something almost like, okay, we landed, we're about to go do something, and the mechanic can go, I want to roll to see if I can get this, an extra power shot off of this weapon ready for the guns, the hired guns. So that's kind of interesting. But of course, they could fail and have a threat, which would make it a little shoddier, or actually just damage the weapon, so it can't even use it with a despair. All right, so here we go. Here's a roll. Let's say the guy decides to do that, decides to upgrade the guy's weapon, the partner, the buddy's weapon, or their own weapon. We got, okay. We've got 1 fail, 3 advantages. Okay, obviously you failed. And let's say, I'm going to say, yeah, okay, you failed. You can do it again. You get a boost die, but it also costs. You also have to take a part off. You got to get a new part done to do it. And that's it. The gun is not going to work though unless you do this. So that's kind of interesting. So then let's say he rolls again and he gets an extra boost die. Let's just say that. I'm obviously going to say he gets that anyway. or he could reduce the threat. Let's just say he decides I'm going to reduce the threat. So I'll take out. Oops. I'll take out the red die and put in a purple die. So let's just roll that for the fun of it. Trying to upgrade his weapon for the mission. Just, you know, and for one mission, not the whole. He doesn't get it permanent. Okay, we got 2 successes and 3 advantages. Okay, so I'm going to say with that, 2 successes. You didn't have to use the parts. I'm going to say that you didn't have to. So you get to keep that part. And by the way, I use parts in my game that they're about 50 credits each, and they work for anything: robots, mechanical, weapons, anything. Like, it's just mechanic. You know, it's just parts. But you can, and the characters my players are already like breaking it up into droid parts, vaporator parts, vehicle parts, weapon parts. They're doing that. I'm going to allow them to interchange them. But if they sell a weapon, if they have 3 weapon parts and I want to sell it to a weapon person, I'll probably give them a little more money for that, you know, like advantage to that. But anyway, I'm doing that as a basic way to have, so they have parts to repair stuff. So yeah, so they didn't have to use the parts, and he gets a boost die for every shot for the next combat session. Maybe I wouldn't say a whole bunch of combat sessions, but obviously you only do 1 or 2 in a session anyway, so generally speaking. So there's the mechanics.